YouTube just changed all its rules. And if you want to use YouTube to build your personal brand or attract clients for your business, you need to pay attention. I spent the last week going through Google's most recent research papers and even found a lead YouTube engineer explaining how they're changing the algorithm because of AI. So if you're still planning to play by the old rules, you're literally training the YouTube algorithm to ignore you. Because even though I've spent the last 4 years helping dozens of 8 and 9 figure personal brands and businesses build their YouTube presence, this is honestly the biggest update I've ever seen. So let's talk about the new rules of YouTube in 2026. What changed, why it matters, and how to actually build a YouTube channel that consistently gets you views and sales. The first rule is semantic IDs. Now, up until a couple years ago, YouTube mostly categorized your video based on what you said it was about. This was your title, your thumbnail, your description, your tags. But in 2026, YouTube is categorizing your video based on what it actually is about. This means you can't really trick the algorithm anymore by just slapping on a keyword-heavy title or a good-looking thumbnail, because YouTube now also looks at your visual style, your pacing, your tone, your structure, the core points you make in your video, and it takes all of that stuff and bundles it into a unique fingerprint for each video. This is called a semantic ID. So YouTube is attaching certain labels to your video the moment you upload. Now, this is not just like marketing or business. This is the category, the niche, the sub-niche, the format, the style, the intent, and even your delivery is all categorized. And here's why this is a massive game changer. Because search engine optimization, or SEO, is going to become a lot less useful now. And let me explain why with an example. So let's say I watch a lot of Alex Hormozi, but you watch a lot of content from somebody like William Brown or Charlie Morgan. And we both search the same thing on YouTube, like how to get clients without ads. In 2024, YouTube would mostly just match the keyword to the title and show us both the same videos up on top. But in 2026, YouTube will decide what videos to rank higher for you, not just based on your personal watch history, but also like your Google search history, your typical behaviors after watching. Now, this means that you and me could search the same exact thing, but get two completely different videos ranked on top. Because the platform today is categorizing the videos it shows you based on intent and satisfaction, not just keywords. And this makes it absolutely imperative you make actually good content now that is scripted and delivered with intention. And this definitely means keyword ranking and SEO on YouTube are going to not only become more complex this year, they will also become less predictable, because search engine optimization won't just be a science anymore. It's not just that you put in these 4 or 5 keywords and you're going to rank on top. It's also going to become so much more dynamic that it'll become an art. And art is not something I recommend anyone to bank their whole strategy on, because art is subjective. Now, here's the second rule, the trust window. A couple years ago, you could upload a handful of YouTube videos, hit the right topic, the right keyword, and see traction relatively fast on your channel. Especially in niches, of course, where competition was fragmented or inconsistent. But now, in 2026, it is completely normal for nothing to happen for the first 10 or 15 uploads. Even if your content is solid, even if your editing is clean, even if your ideas are good. Because those early videos aren't really content in YouTube's eyes as much as they are training data. The system is collecting enough signals to confidently understand who your channel broadly is for. It's not just what each individual video on your channel does, but as a collection, who is your target audience? Who are the people that like watching your content? Who are the people that engage with your content? And most people today are frankly so impatient, they can't even get past this initial barrier. And so they start changing everything. They try different topics, try a different target audience, try a different keyword, different angles, different promises, which sounds logical from a business perspective. You want to test things, but it creates mixed signals for the algorithm, and mixed signals extend this trust window. Because if you jump between topics or formats all the time, YouTube is only going to get more confused about the general direction or the general audience for your channel. So the trust window isn't beaten by effort, it's beaten by consistency of signal. And now we get to a rule that's gonna frankly scare a lot of people, because it means a lot of the old retention hacks are about to completely backfire. For years, everybody said the same thing: do whatever it takes to keep people watching longer, maximize retention, increase average view duration. And yes, all of that still matters. But in 2026, YouTube is much better at detecting the difference between two types of watch time, but more specifically the types of video abandonment. If somebody is leaving your video because your video sucked, YouTube sees that negatively. But if somebody is leaving the video because they got the answer they were looking for, that's a positive signal. That's good abandonment. It means your video did the job it was supposed to. So even if you upload a 10-minute video and people typically only watch 2 minutes of it, that can still be a great thing if those 2 minutes answer the question that everybody came there looking for. And the way you can use this strategically is you can make long content, but the initial 2 or 3 or 5 minutes answer the question that most people came there for, but then you also have advanced strategies for people who want more advanced answers. Because today, YouTube is not just looking at who watches and how long they watch for, YouTube is also looking at what they do after they stop watching your content. If they immediately search the same question again, that's a failure signal. Your video did not satisfy the need the viewer had, and so they have to waste their time again to watch more content on the same topic. But if they stop searching and move on with their life, they close the app or they just start watching something else, that's a success signal. Your video met the need. But there's actually a better case scenario here. If you make a video that gets people curious enough about the topic and they start going down rabbit holes that make them stay on the platform longer, well, Daddy YouTube will be very happy because you just made them more money. So this is why in 2026, a tight 6-minute do this now tactical video can outperform a 45-minute ramble, even if the 45-minute ramble video technically has a better watch time. But if it doesn't satisfy people enough, YouTube might decide to start suppressing it a little bit. And this matters especially if you make content for a business owner audience. If you make anything B2B, founders are not looking for long, rambly videos that take too much time to get to the point. Frankly, nobody is, but at least the business owners definitely are not, because there's so much more information available today that people are looking for compact, bite-sized information, or rather at least compressed information, which is why you see these videos blowing up by Alex Hormozi, where he just compresses his top 100 business lessons in 45 minutes or 100 marketing tactics in 62 minutes, because people love that kind of shit. Now, once YouTube starts optimizing for satisfaction as a platform, it needs a way to avoid showing the same videos to people back to back, which brings us to the most important technical system everyone needs to understand. And this is going to be a bit complex, but I've simplified the whole research quite a lot. Because if you think YouTube is saturated or the algorithm is random or it's all just luck, that's not true anymore. We truly now have the answer of what YouTube is at least trying to actively do. What YouTube is doing now is actively trying to maximize diversity in what it shows a viewer. And one of these systems is called GIST, and it ties directly to an idea Google describes as max-min diversity. So avoiding all the complexity of it, here's what it actually means. So YouTube today uses systems like GIST to measure similarity between videos and ensure it's not serving near duplicate videos to the same audience. Now this is where this matters to you. There's something called the conflict radius. So imagine YouTube takes a video that performs well, an Alex Hormozi video. It gets 1 million views. So YouTube is going to place it at the center of a big circle. That circle is the conflict radius. Any new upload that is too similar to that well-performing video, whether it has the same idea, similar structure, similar delivery style, whatever it is, it falls into that radius. The closer it gets to the radius, that one video that went viral, the less likely that video is to succeed. And it's not because your content might be bad, it's because to the platform it's pretty redundant. It's not adding anything new to the conversation. And this is why copying what worked for your biggest competitors is frankly the worst way to make content in 2026. Because if you just make content that everybody else is doing, YouTube doesn't need you anymore. So because YouTube wants newer information, newer angles, newer insight, or at least a clear distinction that adds value relative to what already exists, using AI for your scripts, using AI is a bit of a problem. And YouTube is obviously doing this on purpose to remove AI slop off the platform, because AI is trained on the average of what already exists. So if you ask AI like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever, for video ideas or scripts, without actually giving it your personal opinions, experiences, or perspectives, it doesn't add any new information. It just regurgitates what's already out there. And therefore it reproduces a slightly reworded version of the same patterns already flooding the platform. Which means you end up inside somebody else's conflict radius without even realizing it. And now imagine if 10 people use the same prompts to generate similar ideas and they end up making similar scripts on the same topics. That is a problem. But an even bigger problem is something we kind of touched upon earlier, but let's expand on why it matters. So YouTube no longer evaluates your channel in isolation. It evaluates you by association. This is called co-visitation by them. Now, when your channel is small, the people who watch it matter a lot. If your early viewers are the type of people who also watch business YouTube channels like Alex Hormozi, Serge Guattari, Charlie Morgan, William Brown, then YouTube begins to test you inside that same neighborhood. But if your early viewers are random, fragmented, or irrelevant, whether it's your family, friends, you post in a random Facebook group, you post it on Reddit, the people who don't actually match your target, buyer profile, you get placed in the wrong neighborhood. And climbing out of the wrong neighborhood is painfully slow because YouTube learns that this channel is for these kind of viewers. And so if you have to retell YouTube to segment you into a different neighborhood, you're gonna have to go through the same 10 to 15 video trust window I initially talked about. Which is why making content for a specific audience really matters a lot. And your first viewers are not just your viewers, they're literally the system learning what kind of audience cluster you belong in. So those were all the rules. Cool, right? What do I do with all of this information? Now, here's the cool thing in my opinion. All of this stuff doesn't make YouTube harder in my opinion. All it does is two things. Firstly, it makes it more predictable if you do the right things. But secondly, and more importantly, it increases the barrier to entry a little bit. And I think that's important because especially as business owners, we obviously would hate it if some random guy who had no idea of your industry, your market, your experience, and he's done nothing in his life, suddenly started making content about your market and tries to act like he knows the target audience and fakes screenshots with AI, and now he starts stealing all of your competition. I mean, I would hate for that to happen. I'm already seeing it happen, so I'm really glad these things are happening because now they install a filter, so only people who actually have knowledge and experience will get to rise to the top. And more importantly, only people who actually are willing to go past the first 10-15 videos will even make it anywhere. Because the old playbook of just pumping out content, copying the best performers in your niche, letting AI generate your ideas and scripts, and trying to brute force retention are ineffective anymore. This is literally training YouTube to ignore the people who do those things. If you're building YouTube to get more sales, there are 3 priorities that matter more than almost anything else today. The first one is clarity of positioning. If your videos don't clearly target a specific audience or problem, YouTube cannot classify you, and therefore your semantic ID for each individual video stays fuzzy, but more importantly, the channel as a whole is just deprioritized by the platform until it gains clarity on exactly who your channel as a whole serves. This also means don't try to go broad with your content topics, because the broader your video is, the less specific it is for who it targets. Don't make generic business advice videos or what I learned from making $1 million. Don't do that kind of stuff. Instead, do specific videos for specific audiences or talk about specific problems. Secondly, make net information gain a priority. Stop asking what should I copy, more so, yes, copying is fine, but copy from other industries, right? Don't copy your direct competitors, but instead start asking what is missing from the conversation in my industry and what can I add to it. In my opinion, the easiest way to do this is look at what is working in other niches. So for example, I make videos about how to grow your YouTube channel for your business. I could look at what people are making that's working in the LinkedIn growth for entrepreneurs industry, or just general business growth for business owners industry, right? I'll copy the formats that are working for other people in other industries and bring them to my own industry, but as long as nobody else has done that video before. Because remember, you want to be as unique as possible, and the easiest way to be unique is to copy what's working for other people who have a similar audience as yours. The third one is satisfaction first structure. Stop focusing on making the longest video possible. Start focusing on making the best, most condensed, most informative video possible. Now, of course, this depends on the kind of audience you have, whether you're B2B or B2C. It depends on a lot of different factors. Also depends on your personality, of course, but for the most part, you want to reduce the amount of fluff in your content and keep it as to the point, because that's what people are looking to watch today, and that's what YouTube as a platform is trying to push out today. So make videos that give people clarity, give give people the answer, give people the steps or your journey, give people the outcomes. So build videos that either just solve something for somebody so they don't have to watch any other video on this topic, or even better, make videos that give people a reason to consume more stuff that's related to it. Give people a reason to get into your funnel, or give people a reason to consume the most top of funnel piece of content you can make that gets people interested in your business model or your mechanism. Which is why I have made videos like the personal branding bubble is about to burst. Because now people want to know more about the personal branding bubble or just the personal branding industry. Whereas a video like this, which is about the new rules of YouTube, is not going to send people down a rabbit hole particularly. That's not the goal. But you need to become more goal oriented and know what your video is supposed to do and make sure you stick to that plan. And this is why I'm telling people today, you need to know what you're doing. You can't just throw darts out there and make something happen like William Brown did, or like Mark Bill's Brands did, or like Sam Sulek did a couple years ago. That playbook is just, it's gone. That time, the era of raw authentic content is over. It's now time for predictable, specific, clarity based content, which is also why you'll see most people who are making content in the industry now, almost any business owner you see who's getting at least 400, 500 views per video, they're working with a content agency or a YouTube strategist like myself. So if you need my help, click the link in the description, we can work together. But if you don't want to work with me, that's fine too. You can watch this video which I made, which is a whole 3.5 hour long course, exactly how to start your channel today, how to do the research, ideas, planning, strategy, scripting, how to do all of that stuff, the whole process from A to Z of starting your channel and making $100,000 or more from it for your business in the next 6 to 12 months. You can go watch that video, or you can book a call from the link in the description. Now the call is going to be me personally, which is why I am not going to take on every person who just applies. So apply. If I think I can help you, we'll hop on a call and you'll leave with something valuable, whether it is us deciding to work together in some way, whether it's coaching, consulting, or my done for you offer, or just you'll leave with the clarity and the direction so that you know exactly what to do next, even if I feel like I cannot help you.